back to 6.
You supposed to be drunk.
Man, Lord.
You supposed to be mad at this.
Man, back dropping.
Oh, you mad? Oh, good. That nigga gonna have $1,000
Boosie Badazz has shocked the game by formally accepting a federal plea deal that, according to whispers circulating the streets, would have Jay Prince and his infamous Dice squad dead in the eyes of the authorities. If what is being said is true, the high-stakes Dice scam that has been targeting rappers for years has expanded beyond a simple firearms allegation. The absurd part is that any name associated with those nights, including Boosie's, is now being pursued by the same federal agents who have been looking into the murder of Duke the Jeweler and the Dice games played before his death. And the question that everyone is asking now that he has agreed to engage in negotiations with the administration is simple. Will Boosie divulge identities that might bring down one of the most feared hip-hop circles? Or is he just defending himself? If the suspicions are even partially true, Jay Prince, who has been accused for years of controlling Houston's check-in culture, might be about to face the kind of federal heat you cannot just talk your way out of. Already, people all over the world are wondering if Boosie just added mob ties to the menu. But because this plan is coming to an end because of the Dice game when Duke died, let us start there. If you have been in Houston long enough, you have probably heard the legends of the apparently amicable Dice games, which typically end with the house on top. The Dice games connected to Jay Prince Jr. are a totally separate species, even though they have long been a part of the city's underground culture. These are high-stakes events that are invite-only, have a lot of money up for grabs, and have a check-in process that makes sure the house knows who is in the room, not games played in somebody's basement. The streets claim that there is a catch to these games. The mob ties enable the Dice to work its magic after enticing rappers and high rollers into a secret space, ensuring that the money is stacked high and the cocktails are flowing, and abiding by their playbook. Charleston talked about it too, but nobody listened.
Everybody in Texas know what the play is. If you rapping, you celebrity, if you like the strip club, you like to do this, you check in with them, they bringing them bad dice on you. Why you think they Duke the Jeweler, they really couldn't get him? That's why they had, come on, homie.
Real Voice insiders claim that the arrangement is operated like a machine. The Dice are not brand new, and the mob ties have 3 guys on the rotation. 1 rolls, 1 holds, and 1 swaps. The chance has been precisely where they want them to, because they are prepared, weighted, shaved, and adjusted. The concept is straightforward. The house wins, Jay Prince Jr. receives his share, which is said to be roughly 30%, and everyone else leaves with less money. However, this is where everything went wrong. Duke somehow obtains Dice that was not intended for him, and all of a sudden he begins to hit thousands, then tens of thousands, until he is up almost $100,000. Additionally, the video shows it. Whispers begin, smiles fade, and the relaxed atmosphere becomes tense and deliberate because winning so much is not luck in a game that is meant to be lost. It is a problem. Duke is on his way to his automobile a few minutes later. Just him, no staff, no security. Shots are fired, and he disappears before anyone can comprehend what has happened. Cash was unharmed and jewelry remained on him, indicating that control, not robbery, was the goal. Duke also broke the control of the system that night. Duke the Jeweler was not merely a name that happened to be in the mix. With a client list that most rappers would kill for, unique pieces valued at millions, a reputation for excellence, and a personality that made him a mainstay at hip-hop events, the man was a well-respected jeweler in Chicago. It was all business when Boosie invited him to Houston. Boosie ended up with that bag. Boosie now explains that he was ordered to hold it during the game by Duke, and it simply remained in his possession following the shooting. It is not that easy though. Federal officials say they have video, text threads, and testimony that position Boosie's circle in the middle of Duke's last hours. Duke's phone went black immediately after pinging close to Boosie's recording studio, indicates that it is receiving full attention. Because of this, the Louis Vuitton bag in this tale is more than just a piece of luggage. Perhaps that is what led to Boosie's name appearing in federal records. This is the point at which Boosie's situation becomes extremely risky, and the reason why some people people believe that this plea agreement may involve more than just the 2023 gun case. The murder investigation of Duke the Jeweler was not grouped with Boosie's previous court cases by federal prosecutors. They intentionally split it apart, which is a traditional pressure tactic. The feds isolate a case like this because it provides them leverage and allows them to keep the heat laser focused. They can offer some tolerance in one instance in return for information in another. Also, Boosie's team has a lot of issues with the Duke case.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to kill him.
First, before it abruptly went dark, Duke's phone, the final digital breadcrumb of his life, pinged close to Boosie's recording studio. The feds do not ignore that kind of detail. The element that Boosie cannot control is the rumors that are already being discussed by some of his own colleagues. It snowballs after the feds get one person to crack. Timelines become jumbled, stories start to change, and giving in to the feds' demands is the simplest way to stay safe. Cutting a deal may seem like the only option if you are Boosie, sitting there with a federal gun case on the table, a murder investigation on the side, and members in your gang possibly flipping. In this instance, there are just two individuals to turn on, J. Prince Jr. and his father, J. Prince. J. Prince Jr. has already overseen two of the most well-known dice games that ended tragically.
Man, Lord.
You supposed to be mad at this.
Man, about dropping.
Oh, you mad? Oh, good. That nigga gonna have $1,000 out there.
Dead hours after leaving a game, Duke the Jeweler takeoff, killed just in front of another. The same routine, other nights, different situations, bullets before dawn, big names, big money. Voices from the industry are also not holding back. J. Prince Jr. has been publicly accused by Whack 100 of operating risky setups that entice well-known rappers into games they cannot win unless the house permits them to. Charleston White has already been heard by you. They were dubbed night traps by him. Run with loaded dice and strict control, since a single bad roll or win could turn you into a target before you have ever had a chance to cash out. It depicts an ecology in which power struggles take place in the background and trust is a myth. Furthermore, it is impossible to overlook what has been going on behind the scenes once you begin discussing Houston's check-in culture, because it is not just the streets that are responding. Rumor has it that some musicians are discreetly withdrawing from Houston events completely, avoiding performances or appearances where there may be mob connections. J. Prince Sr. formally disputes that there is a requirement to check in. The pressure is there, according to sources, but it is now more subdued. Forced by J. Prince Jr. Yes Network, even the most courageous hip-hop artists are reconsidering if the risk is worth it in light of two high-profile deaths connected to dice games. Being caught in the crossfire is not the only thing that causes that terror. It has to do with getting sucked into politics. When the night becomes deadly, it matters who you are standing next to. Consider the Finesse 2X. He changed from publicly expressing his animosity toward J. Prince Jr. to accusing him of being financially defrauded and making insinuations of disrespect behind closed doors. Their relationship then became much more strained as allegations of a baby mama scandal began to circulate. Whether it is true or not, the drama fueled the debate that J. Prince Jr. is losing supporters more quickly than he can win them back. Labels are also taking notice, so it is not just artists who are feeling the heat. Record executives are subtly warning their personnel to avoid the dice game because of the controversy surrounding it and the violence that has surrounded it. For this reason, if Boosie does indeed begin naming names, it might not just rock Houston, but also rock the rap industry as a whole. The FBI, DEA, ATF, and ICE have all collaborated with HPD to take down violent street gangs and whole narcotics rings in recent federal sweeps in the city. The problem is that these operations involved more than just apprehending low-level players. From the street shooters to those handling the money, they were about taking down entire organizations operations. If they determine that mob ties are the next step, they might follow that precise blueprint. Every relationship, favor, and off-the-record action in that network is scrutinized by government task groups. However, one piece of concrete evidence, such as a leaked film from those dice nights, could be enough to throw the whole thing apart. It would not be merely rumors if there was evidence of who was present, who was managing the funds, or who approved particular plays. It would be material for closing a case, and that is where things get risky for Boosie. The feds might provide him protection in return for information if he is genuinely cooperating. However, that level of security can make you a target in the streets. People will cease whispering about you and start mentioning you in threats if they believe you are supporting the opposition.